bing, bing, bong, bong.
Now watch this drive.
Obama. Soda!
Who do you think the best non-bender in the show is?
Long shot, easy.
Besides long shot.
Sokka's just too goated.
Bro learned how to sword fight in like a day.
Plus, he's the master planner.
I always liked that they had a lot of cool non-benders in the show.
They did a good job of giving everyone an equal opportunity to be badass. All right, before we continue, let's take a moment to appreciate how cucked Long Fang is.
Oh my God.
The literal biggest cuck in the entire show.
How could you let your shadow government get overthrown by a teenage girl?
This cuck was sponsored by the shadow government.
And he still lost. Zuko is next up, and before anyone says anything, he can't be lower than A tier.
A tier? What do you mean A tier?
You can't be serious. Zuko is a lock for S. Nobody developed more over the course of the show than him.
Oh, thank God. I thought you guys wouldn't agree.
Are you kidding? Zuko is the best.
I always enjoyed how he acted as a foil to Aang. Opposite side of the same coin situation.
And the parallel between Aang and Zuko and Roku and Sozin is key. Zuko discovering his destiny and helping the Avatar is what prevents history from being repeated.
Zuko probably had it the worst out of anyone in the show besides Aang.
Yeah, your people getting genocided will do that to you.
And literally fucking dying.
Zuko finally growing from his trauma and realizing his full potential is definitely one of the best parts of the show.
I'll say, though, Zuko pissed me off at the end of Book 2. Like, why go back to your bullshit now? Take a hint from Iroh.
Book 2's end is the bitter pill you must swallow to get to the catharsis that is the second half of Book 3. There's really no other place he could go besides the top of the list.
Hell yeah.
The mad genius himself, Bumi.
The master of neutral Jin.
Finally, representation for Joe, a character his age.
That's a relief, smartass. We've already had a character with skin as orange as yours.
Zhang Zhang?
Zhong Zhong.
He's got some sick moments. Taking back Omashu was like one of the most powerful feats of earth bending in the show.
Who's winning in a fight, Bumi or Toph?
Bumi.
Don't go hating on Toph again.
I'm just being realistic, King.
Realistic in an alternate reality, maybe.
Enough with the chicanery. Where's Boomy going?
I think he's a good fit for C.
Nah, put him in B. He's better than Zhong Zhong, definitely.
The Boulder?
Macho man earthbender guy. Pretty good joke character for the time he was on screen.
He's a good lock for C.
Putting him in C feels weird with Sparky Boom Man and May in C.
Move them up then.
But then May is on the same tier as Azula. That's not right.
Then fucking move her up then. She's easily the best villain in the show.
He's got a point, honestly. She's a part of too many cool moments in the show.
She's also just cool in general. Always conniving. Evil maxing type shit.
I guess you're right. Compared to the other villains, they try to humanize her some.
She's a good example of what Zuko could have been.
How about Judy?
This bitch was creepy as hell.
The scene in Lake Laogai where they're training Judies is one of the creepiest scenes in the show.
Judy's nuts.
Can you shut up, man?
The problem is that the concept was intriguing, but the character itself wasn't special.
There was a lot of places they could have potentially went with that, like freeing the GUDs, but the plot didn't have time for it, I guess.
D tier?
Sounds right,
Could
honestly.
be C, but I don't really care.
The little guy himself, Lord Momo of the Momo dynasty.
He's such a silly little guy.
He's the best comic relief character in the show.
Didn't he have katanas that one time or something?
Yeah, when Aang was hallucinating.
That scene was actually so tight.
I think Momo is a lock for A tier.
Honestly, I think he's an S.
Momo is not S tier. Appa shouldn't even be S tier.
You shut your mouth. Appa is the best animal character in any cartoon. Period.
Jake the dog? Mordecai? Arthur?
He's a knitter! 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 No! No, I'm not a knitter. No.
Animal characters that are actual animals.
The difference between Momo and Appa is that Appa had an entire arc specifically about him. A tier is Momo's ceiling. The Earth King?
More like the Mid-King.
Dude was way too naive for his own good.
He was also just a loud mouth. Like, shut the hell up about top secret invasion plans.
He at least gets some props for having an open mind and listening to Team Avatar.
The bear was pretty funny, too.
This ain't the bear, it's just the guy.
C tier at best, then, to be honest.
Did this guy ever even have a name?
I think it's literally just the mechanist.
Loki, just the inventor of tanks, airships, and submarines. No big deal.
You're honestly right. His importance in the story is understated.
I think he's B, even though he didn't have a lot of screen time.
Oh boy, it's Ty Lee.
All right, let me tell you something.
Here we go.
How do you call this girl 14 and then draw her with a fully developed woman body and big tits?
Oh my God.
He's kind of spitting, though. A lot of characters look like they could be anywhere from 2 to 4 years older than what their actual age is.
To be fair, that's an anime thing in general, not just Avatar.
It's not an anime.
Didn't ask.
It was made in America. Anime is specifically animation made in Japan.
Maybe you should go outside and get some bitches instead of lecturing me about Japanese cartoons.
God damn it. Where are we putting Ty Lee?
She's honest to God, best girl.
That's an absolutely ludicrous take. You are such a coomer.
Put her where May is in B. They complement each other.
Ty Lee has cooler powers.
Not enough to bump her into A tier.
It's kind of a shame we never saw more of Azula's team plus Zuko.
I know, man. The beach episode did a really good job of humanizing them.
Speaking of best girl, Suki,
My first childhood crush.
you were not a child when this story came out, bro.
She didn't really play an important role in the story, but she was still impactful.
The script always had her on the back burner. It would have been interesting to see more from her.
Is this what you meant by positive female role models, Barack?
Unironically, yeah. One of the best female characters in the show.
Is she A tier, though?
I honestly think she is.
That's a weird take. I think she's B, personally.
B? Why do you think that?
She simply doesn't have as many good moments as the other A tier characters.
The scene where she pilots an entire fucking airship to save Sokka and Toph is enough to put her in A tier alone.
I kind of agree.
If you say so.
We've got Fire Lord Ozai.
Through and through, this dude was only ever a piece of shit.
The bad guy is bad because bad.
He was never a very good character. He never needed to be, though. Avatar was never about creating nuanced villains. It was more about focusing on the protagonist's journey as they try to overcome the impossible challenge of saving the world.
The role he serves in the plot, plus the final battle, is enough to keep him out of F, though.
I really don't think it does. He was such an unredeemable asshole. He's more deserving of F than anyone else on the list.
He also just had terrible motivations. All right, so we're going to destroy the ecosystem because...
If we put him in a higher rank because of his significance to the story, the average is just going to make it look weird. Ozai doesn't belong in C tier.
I wouldn't mind if you put him in F.
Oh my God, bro. It's the fucking owl.
Deadass, this thing scared the hell out of me.
This dude sucked. He was such an asshole.
Wan Shitong, he who knows how to be mid.
That one sucked, bruh.
I'm trying, man.
Put him in D.
Kyoshi.
She was cool, and Kyoshi Island culture is cool, but she had, like, what, 2 moments in the show?
Kyoshi is honestly S tier if you read the novels.
I'd take your word for it, but we're still basing this list off just the show, not the comics.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Is C tier all right?
Sounds good to me.
All right, speaking of avatars, what about Roku?
Unlike Kyoshi, Roku had a lot of insane moments and had a big impact on the story.
The entire war being a consequence of his mistakes was crazy.
The Avatar and the Fire Lord was a banger episode.
He gave great advice to Aang, too.
Also, the Winter Solstice was a really cool episode.
It almost felt out of place with them going into the Fire Nation so early.
Doesn't take away from Roku absolutely wiping that temple off the map.
Was that the Fire Nation's 9/11?
No, the Fire Nation's 9/11 was the solar eclipse, definitely.
Probably because they already knew about it before it happened.
And just like 9/11, Roku's going in A tier. Oh, brother, it's Sozin.
Okay, my main problem was Sozin. Why go to help Roku with the volcano when you were going to leave him for dead either way?
Your biggest problem with Sozin was a plot hole, and not genocide?
Nope.
Based.
Either way, Sozin was a piece of shit. He had it so good. Why did he mess it up with 100 years worth of war?
This motherfucker deserves F tier.
Speaking of motherfuckers, Master Piandao.
A prime example of a cool non-bender.
You know this dude votes Republican.
Wow. A rich, land-owning ex-Fire Nation soldier that didn't do anything about the war until Sozin's come it just because...
There are some obvious plot holes about how the Order of the White Lotus operated, but I don't think you should let it detract from his character.
I'm just saying, I think he's capped at C.
C? Are you fucking kidding me? He's in A tier for sure.
No shot he's on Aang's level.
Let's compromise and put it in B.
Whatever.
This dude is always getting some tail.
I don't know how he does it.
He can't keep getting away with
He
it.
literally fucked the moon.
He's the last Rizbender.
Bro is the coochie whisperer.
Yo!